Good morning, Primary 4. Now we take Unit 2. Now we take the congruent figure or congruent shapes. Okay, and we say the two figures are congruent if the sides in the first figure equal the sides in the other figure, and the angles in the first equal the angles in the other figure. If the sides are equal in length and the angles are equal in measure, these two figures are congruent. Here, two polygons are congruent if their corresponding sides are equal in length and their corresponding angles are equal in measure. If I have two triangles ABC and XYZ, if AB equal XY and AC equal XZ and BC equal YZ, so and measure A equal measure X and measure angle C equal measure angle Z and B equal Y, the two triangles are congruent. Okay, ABC congruent to, this is the sign of congruent. Okay, X, Y, Z. If the two polygons are congruent, then each side and each angle in the one of them is congruent to the other polygon. Each side and each angle of one of the first polygon is what is congruent in the other polygon. Okay, if I have two polygons, the sides, just the sides are equal. It's enough to give me congruent figure? No, it's not enough. We should have what? The angles and the side. Sides is not enough. Sides is not enough to give me congruent figure. But we should have sides and angle. Okay, sides, just sides is not enough. We should have sides and angle. Here we have a special case for squares. Okay, in all cases squares are special. Squares are special case. Okay, if I have two squares, these two squares are congruent when one of its side in the first square equal one of the sides of the other square. One of the side in the first square equal one of the sides in the other square. If AB equal XY, then two squares are congruent. Just one side? Yes, just one side. Give me two square is congruent. We don't need the angle? No. In the square, we don't need the angles. Here, two squares are congruent if the side length of one of them equals the side length of the other. Okay? So, AB equal X, Y. If here 5, here 5. Why? If one side of the square is 5, AB is 5, يبقى all sides, then all sides are equal. And XY equal 5, then all sides are 5. All sides are 5. In the square, all sides are equal. If AB equal XY in the other, then ABCD congruent to XYZL. Here rectangle type. What is a special case in the rectangle? In the rectangle we have two dimensions. We have length and width. If the length in the first rectangle equals the length in the other and the width in the first equal the width in the other, then two rectangles are congruent. We should have two dimensions in the first rectangle equal to dimension in the other rectangle, so two rectangles are congruent. Here, if the two dimensions of one of them equal the other, if BC equal XL and CD equal YX, so and this length here equal length here, and CD equal XY and BC equal XL, so two rectangles are congruent. Okay, we have this is the length and this is the width. AB equal XY and BC equal YZ, so ABCD congruent to XYZ. In the square we have one side. In the rectangle we have two dimension length and width. In the triangle, if AB equal XY and AC equal XZ and BC equal YZ, يبقى so two triangles are congruent. Two triangles are congruent. And this also special case. We have two triangle ABC and XYZ. If I have AB equal XY and AC equal XZ, BC equal YZ. So ABC congruent to XYZ. These three special cases, squares, rectangle, and all sides in the first triangle equal all sides in the other triangle, give me two triangles are equal. In any polygon we should have what? Length and we should have sides and angles. We should have congruent in sides and equal in the angle. Okay? Here, lesson 2, we have symmetry figures and line of symmetry. We say the figure has line of symmetry if it can be folded into two congruent parts. And the fold line is line of symmetry. Here we have a happy face and the line of symmetry divided into two congruent parts. Here, okay, this line is line of symmetry and the first part congruent to the second part. This is line of symmetry and this is symmetric figures. More figures has line of symmetry. The rectangle, how many lines? Two lines. Rectangle has two lines. And square, four lines. Rhombus, two lines. Here we can divide two lines, divide the rhombus to congruent parts. And equilateral triangle, three lines. Equilateral, three lines. Equilateral is three sides are equal, give me three lines of symmetry. And isosceles, one line. Two sides are equal, give me one line of symmetry. Here, isosceles trapezium, also one. Any isosceles give me one line of symmetry. Any isosceles give me one line. When we see isosceles, we write one line. Trapezium, no, just trapezium, no line of symmetry. And Parallelogram, no line, no line. Pentagon. Pentagon is 5 sides, 5 angles, 5 vertices give me 5 lines of symmetry. Hexa. Hexa we talked before. 6 sides, 6 angles, 6 vertices give me 6 lines. And hepta, 7, 7, 7 give me 7 lines. Some figures have only one line and some have more than one line, and some figures have no lines of symmetry, no lines. Okay, we took it in the table. And again, here the figure name and the number of lines of symmetry. Equilateral triangle, how many lines? How many lines in equilateral? 3. And isosceles. Isosceles, we said any isosceles? 1. Any isosceles? 1. Scaling, all sides are different. It will be 0 line. All sides are different. We can divide it into 2 congruent parts. All sides are different, give me 0 lines of symmetry. Parallelogram, we can divide it into 2 congruent parts? No, we can't divide. We can't divide. It will be 0. Rhombus, 2 lines. Rhombus, 2 lines. And rectangle, also 2. Rhombus, rectangle. Rhombus and rectangle is 2 lines. Rhombus, rectangle, 2 line of symmetry. 2 lines. Rhombus, how many lines? 2. And rectangle, how many lines? 2. Squares, 4 sides are equal, give me 4 lines of symmetry. Squares, how many sides are equal? 4 lines. Okay. Hexa, we talked before. Hexa, 6 angles, 6 sides. Give me 6 lines of symmetry. And trapezium, 0. Trapezium, 0. We can't divide it into 2 congruent parts. Isosceles, any isosceles, 1. Any isosceles, 1. Isosceles triangle, here, isosceles, we took isosceles 1, triangle 1, and isosceles trapezium 1. Here, isosceles triangle 1 and isosceles trapezium 1. Okay. Again, equilateral triangle, 3 sides are equal, 3 angles are equal, give me 3 lines of symmetry. And isosceles triangle, any isosceles, 1, any isosceles, 1, isosceles trapezium, 1. Rectangle and rhombus, rectangle and rhombus, 2, rectangle and rhombus, 2. Parallelogram, 0, scalene, 0, trapezium, 0. Okay, 0, scalene, parallelogram, and trapezium. Square, 4. Square, 4 line. And hexagon, 6. Pentagon, 5. Heptagon, 7. Did you understand? Okay, goodbye.